We've been in the business of training new Forex traders since 1994. We've got a 21-year track record. 30,000 students have been trained by our group. I'll tell you this, when it comes to Forex, there's a lot of groups out there. All right, if you did a Google search, you've probably found more than one. But there's only one that is number one in terms of duration and number of students, and that's the Market Traders Institute. So whether it's by choice or good luck, you've come to the right place. We're getting a lot of good press. This month's issue of Inc. magazine has us listed in the Inc. 5000. Now what is that? That's the 5,000 fastest growing companies in the world. And they mention us in the same breath now as Microsoft and GoPro and Timberland, and there's a reason we're getting bigger. All right, the fact of the matter is we're getting results. When you have happy customers who are looking at their bottom line goals and that they're seeing them being met, all right, at the end of the day, they tell somebody, and 2 people, 4 people, they come to a webinar like this one, and we continue to grow. So at the end of the day, if it's results you're looking for, I've got 150 traders here that are here to train you when it comes to trading the Forex market. We're all led by the chief of the Forex. His name is Jared Martinez. He put this group together 21 years ago, and at the end of the day, it's a results-driven business, bottom line. So we're going to talk about opportunity, and we're also going to talk about results. But first, we've got to talk about you, all right? There's a couple of hundred of you in my room right now, and I need you to identify yourselves just a little bit so I kind of know who it is that I'm talking to here on the Investor Inspiration Workshop. Here's what I want you to do. In the chat box, if you would identify yourself with the number 1, 2, or 3 based on this criteria, I want you to type a number 1 in the box if you are absolutely brand new to the foreign currency market, brand new to Forex. It's your first, maybe second workshop, but you don't have an account opened yet. Go ahead and type a number 1. Now, if you're got a little experience, meaning maybe you have a practice account open at a Forex broker, but you're not quite trading real money, I want you to type a number 2 in the box. And last but not least, if you're already trading some real money in the Forex, but you're here to try and get a little bit more in terms of results, I want you to type a number 3. Go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to get a sip of water. Identify yourself, 1, 2, or 3. I see all of you, Donnie, John, David, Tara, Ian, appreciate it. All right, I'm here to tell you it's kind of a mixed bag. All right, a lot of number 1s, and I absolutely appreciate that enthusiasm. My number 2s, you're ready to take a step forward. And my number 3s, well, you're looking to get those results that maybe are escaping you right now, whoever you are. All right, I want you to know this is the best time that you could have come to the Forex market. Historically, there's results that are being driven here that are unparalleled. It's a market that's growing with individual investors. It's a pretty exciting time. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take the next 30 minutes and give you a little Forex education. All right, we're going to walk through a quick Forex trade to make sure we're all singing off the same sheet of music. My goal is that by the time I'm done, no matter how you identified yourself, you have a foundation in place so that you can work side by side with the best traders in the business. That's Josh Martinez, that's Chris Pulver. Now, what does all that mean? Listen, most people come to an investment program and say, just show me how to do it. I'll follow your lead, and we'll all make money together. That doesn't sound unreasonable. The tough part is finding the people who have that successful track record, who get it, and are able to impart that to you. Not only that, but no matter where you are, will allow you to trade live side by side with them. All right? The fact of the matter is, if I can provide that for you, well, guess what? Now the goals that you have set for yourself can be met. So by the time I'm done, I'll tell you just how to do that risk-free. We'll even get you opening a Forex account so that you're ready to trade live in the market. Like I said, we've been doing this 21 years, and I don't care where you're coming from today. I don't care if you're a student. I don't care if you're a painter or a chiropractor, a doctor, an attorney, whatever you're doing, the Forex market doesn't have any barriers to entry. All right, it's real easy to get started. I'm going to show you how to do that live today, and you'll be ready, no matter where you are, to take one step forward when it comes to your Forex trading, and you'll be able to do that at no risk. Now, real quick, I think it's important that if you're going to spend the next 30, 40 minutes with me, you know who the heck you're talking to. I have made a living in the markets since I graduated from college. All right, I've worked on the Toronto Stock Exchange. I worked in the city at 2 World Trade Center. I'm licensed to trade all the markets, whether it's options, commodities, Forex, futures, or stocks. The fact is I was a principal. I've trained new traders on 3 different trading desks. And I'm not saying any of that to impress you. What I am saying is I get where you are. I also understand the differences between all the different markets. And when it comes to the Forex is going to give you, the new person, the newer person, every available advantage. In other words, if you had to draw up from a sheet of paper a market to trade, this would end up being the one. It's real easy to get started. It's a super liquid market, meaning there's so many traders and so much money going through it that you'll be able to get in and out whenever you need to. All right, it's a hugely leveraged market, which means you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck. It's a flexible market in terms of hours, meaning what? Doesn't matter what you do for a living or when you do it, there's going to be a time for you to trade this market, and you don't have to bring a lot of money to the table. All right, too many other investment programs require big dollars just to get started. In this market, I'll show you how with $2,000 you can make a whole lot of noise. All right, in fact, if you only have a couple of $100, I'll still show you how to make a whole lot of noise in this market. It's not only possible, but that's just how the market works. And by the time I'm done, you'll say, well, that was pretty easy to understand. So let's get going. In the chat box, I want you to identify the reason that you're here. And it's pretty funny. I'm only going to give you 2 choices. Why are you here? Well, usually when that conversation starts, there's about 101 reasons why people come to a workshop like this. I lump them together in 2 categories. The first one is all the other reasons, and the second one is to make some serious money. Okay? Now, I want you to identify why you're here by typing a number in the box. Easiest question I'm going to ask you today. All right? A couple of you might be here to diversify away from some other different investments that you have, and that's fine. Some of you are here to gain some knowledge. That's fine. But at the end of the day, why do we do this? There has to be a bottom line result. There has to be a quantifiable result. Here's what I want you to write down if you have a pen and a piece of paper. All right, if you're here to learn how to make some money, great. If you're here to learn how to make serious money, I want you to write this down. My goal with this presentation and the opportunity I'll present to you to work with my traders at the end of my talk is to make you $40,000 by Christmas. Now that's a big number, and it's going to take me about that 30 minutes to quantify all that for you, okay? But if 40 grand by Christmas is something you're interested in, I want you to type a Y or yes in the box so that I know I have your attention, because I think this is a big deal. Yeah, and if that one isn't it, maybe the next half hour you go do something else. But if you want to learn how to make 40 grand by Christmas, let's make it happen. We'll get started right now. I do have to tell you, when it comes to trading the Forex, it's not for everybody. Past performance does not equal any future results. All right? Trading involves a degree of risk, and you shouldn't risk any more capital than you have the opportunity to lose. But like I said earlier, when it comes to trading Forex, you don't have to bring a whole lot of money to the table. But what you do bring, I recognize, is still hard-earned. So I'm going to always be cognizant when I'm talking about this opportunity to always be on the lookout for your downside. So please understand, I'm going to tell you everything. And by the time I'm done, you're going to have all the information you need to make a good decision on whether or not this is right for you. And some people, the first thing they say is, man, it seems like a lot. It's a brand new market. You're going to be throwing different terms at me. I mean, I'm going to be writing fast and furious. That might be true. But today, I'm only going to tell you not everything there is to know, but I'm sure going to be telling you what you need to know to get started. So that if you're like John, who said, man, I'm getting towards the age of retirement, I got to find another income source for myself, I heard about this Forex market, what can I do? Listen, you don't have to know everything, all right? We're going to get you started. You can relax, and I'll show you exactly how to do this in a way that makes sense to you, so that down the road, maybe 6 months down the road, you can be sending me back a note that says, you know what, I'm glad I got started because in 6 months, like John here, I tripled my account. All right, what you start with is immaterial. If you triple your money, all right, that's a pretty good place to be. We'll teach you when to get in, when to get out, when to stay out, and an understanding of how all this works. So the point of it is, when you're working with my traders, when you're working with Josh, when you're working with Chris, when you're working with the 150 of us that are here, all right, we want it to be so that you can send us a note very quickly that says, hey, trading side by side with you, I made some serious money. Let's go. Who's Josh? Josh is Josh Martinez. Write down the name. Okay. 4 years ago in June of 2011, Josh was probably not much unlike you. He came to a workshop at Market Traders Institute. What was he doing at the time? He was a personal trainer at the local gym. You can see that he's in shape. But he also just got married. His car was breaking down. He's ready to start a family. And he said, you know what? Even if I reach the top of this profession, I'm not that inspired. I need to find something where I can not only make money, but serious money. And if I can learn a skill to do that, well, then I'm going to own the skill and I can keep repeating myself. As it turned out, he came to Market Traders Institute and studied under the chief, Jared Martinez, who's the president of our company. He took a $500 deposit. That's where he started his account. Turned it into 39 grand. And at that point, the chief said, guess what? You're no longer a student. Now it's your turn to pay it back, pay it forward, and teach some people how to do what you did. Now, if that sounds like something you're interested in, turning 500 bucks into 39,000, again, go ahead and type a Y or a yes in the box. It's pretty easy questions so far. They'll get a little more difficult as we go along. If you're interested in turning a little bit into a lot, easy question, right? All right. Today, Josh is our head trader. He's our head trainer. He has a worldwide following. Okay? He hosts on a daily basis trading rooms and live trading sessions where the people that come to the room trade alongside him in a live market environment. And that's what I'm going to give you the opportunity to do today. To do like he did, start with a $500 deposit. Take a look, June of 2011. This is all third-party verified real money stuff. All right? And he started by doing what? Trading for a few dollars at a time while he learned what to do. Fast forward a little while, now he's not talking about a couple dollars here or there. He's taken out 4,000, 3,000, 10,000 at a time from the market. And this is the place that I want you to be able to get to today. So if that makes sense to you and you want to be like Melissa, all right, thanks, Josh. I'm working with you. I made some money. No matter who you are, you're going to be able to pull this off. And if you don't have a lot of time to make it happen, all right, your car payment's due in a couple weeks, well, Charles made 500 bucks his first day doing what I'm going to show you how to do. So here's my promise to you. All right, by the time we're done, and there's a lot of you here today, by the time we're done, I've got to give you a foundation of understanding to make sure that you have a good platform so that you'll be able to work side by side with Josh Martinez, Chris Pulver. Okay? By the time I'm done, you're going to know more than 90% of the people on this earth about the Forex. So don't be nervous if you don't know anything. And if you do know a little bit, be patient. Let me get everybody caught up. The goal is to get you prepared to trade live, and then you can learn the rest of it as you go. All right, here we go. Those of you who have never placed a Forex trade before, I'm here to tell you, maybe you have. You probably have. If you've ever been to one of these currency exchange booths, all right, if you've ever done any traveling, you've ever gone from, let's say, Buffalo, New York to Toronto, Canada, you've probably been to one of these. By a quick show of yeses in the box, okay? Tell me how many of you have ever been to a currency exchange booth. This is important. Let me hear all that feedback. Type it in the box. Let's make sure we have that connection. Mike, I see you. Tara, I see you. Jane, Susie, Craig, Nath, Kathleen, I see all of you. Wow, big group. If you've done this, you've done a currency trade. What did you do when you needed to exchange currency? You walked up to the booth and looked for today's exchange rate. Let's say, for example, you had US dollars in your pocket, but you were traveling to Toronto or Vancouver or Winnipeg or Edmonton. Well, you want to, when you're in Edmonton, you want to be walking around with Canadian dollars, not US dollars. Just makes things easier. So when you walk up to the booth and you see today's exchange rate, you know immediately what that means. It means for every dollar you have in your pocket, you can exchange it for 1.325 Canadian dollars. I know that makes sense. Mike and Claude, follow along with me. Okay, same thing. Fritz, if you've never been, it's really easy. When you see the rate of exchange, you know that you can sell your US dollars and you can buy Canadian dollars. For every dollar you sell, you buy 1.325 Canadian. So if you had $1,000 in your pocket, at that rate of exchange, if you sold US dollars, handed them across the counter, what would come back to you is 1,325 Canadian. Easy, easy, easy. That's a currency trade. Selling one to buy the other at the rate of exchange. Now, let's say you go to Edmonton and you've got that Canadian money in your pocket. But during the course of the day, you don't spend any of it. You just happen to do all the free stuff and you meet a friend who buys your lunch. Well, that means when you go back to the States, all right, and it's time to sell back your Canadian dollars, you've got 1,325 of them to sell back. So what do? You go back to one of those currency booths. Now remember, you started the day at 1.325, okay? But during the course of the day, when you check out the rate of exchange, here's what happened. In the morning, it was at 1.325, but in the evening, when it comes time to sell back your Canadian dollars, what do you notice? The exchange rate had moved during the day. Now, does it move? Of course it does. All day long, every minute, every second of the day. As long as business is being done, as long as banks are transacting business, currency rates fluctuate. To you, that doesn't look like a big deal. You're just going to sell back your Canadian dollars. Looks like about a penny difference. No big deal, right? But here's what you notice. When you sell back your Canadian dollars at that rate of exchange, what ends up coming back to you is not 1,000 US dollars. Because of the fluctuation in the rate of exchange during the day, what actually comes back to you is 1,010 US dollars. So if this makes sense to you, here's what you need to know. That is the mechanics of a currency trade. And it also happened to be the profitable mechanics of a currency trade. Because you took advantage of the fluctuation in the exchange rate, because you held Canadian dollars while they were going up in value. The dollar, US dollar, was going down, but the Canadian dollar was going up while you held it. You bought low, you sold high. When you shook it all out, you made yourself 1% on your money. Now, if that makes sense, go ahead again and type a yes or yes, that makes sense, or some answer in the box, just so I know we're still together. Lots of you. The group keeps getting bigger. All right? You've all got it. Wow, my screen is blowing up with yeses. It's that simple. Now, here's what I know. The mechanics of it don't sound that difficult. All right? And just so you know, you're not going to have to go to Edmonton or Canada to do this stuff. You're going to end up doing it all from either your home computer or you'll end up doing it from your iPhone. All right? You'll be able to trade currencies when you're at a traffic light. Because you've got your iPhone, you'll just be able to click the button. Sell dollars, buy Canadian, whatever it is. All right? But here's what you need to know. Just by doing that trade, you made yourself 1%. Not bad when you consider your checking account pays you less than that for the whole year. Not bad when you consider 1% a day on your money would equal 360% for the year. But here's where the fun really starts. And I told you it's about inspiration. I told you it's about the power of the market. This is a leveraged market. It's actually leveraged at 50 to 1. What does that mean? It means that on a trade no more difficult to do than this, with no more of a change in the exchange rate, you're not going to just make $10. You're going to be able to multiply that return 50 times, which means on your 1,000 invested, you're not going to make 1%. Doing some quick math, because of leverage, you're going to be able to make 50%, 500 bucks on your 1,000 invested. And you might just be able to do that in a day. Now, you might not even know what I just did, but if 500 bucks on 1,000 invested in a day sounds like something you want to know more about, one more time, type a yes in the box. And for those of you who say, well, I could lose money too, I told you at the beginning, I'll look out for your downside in a minute, because that's important. You work hard for your money. But the fact is, this is the upside potential. And if you do that once a day, you do it 5 days a week, at the end of the week, making $2,000, $2,500 a week, you might be able to start having a different kind of conversation with your boss at work. This sort of thing, the power of this is going to give you some options in your life. And every last one of you typed yes. So let's keep going. What market are you going to trade? You're going to be talking about the currency market. Currency market was created in 1973. Why? What happened then? The U.S. dollar was taken off of the gold standard. Well, what did that mean? It meant the U.S. dollar was suddenly allowed to float in value against the other currencies. Now, instead of figuring out the value of the dollar against a reserve of gold, the only way to find its value was to compare it to other currencies. What did that mean to you? Not much. For about 25 years, to you and I, it didn't mean much of anything, because this was primarily a bank's market. The worldwide banks did all the Forex trading. The worldwide banks in the U.S. and Europe and Far East, etc., they did all the trading. But they also made sure that you and I couldn't do the trading. For 25 years, they did it, and for 25 years, they lobbied to keep the door closed to the individual. Now, why do you suppose they did that? Type your answer in the box. Why would the banks make sure we couldn't trade it? Take your best guess. Greed, to keep the money for themselves, to protect their profits. Everybody got it right. They are greedy, Ann. You know how greedy they are and how big this pie is? Bank of America alone makes about $2.5 billion a year trading currencies. What? Right. One bank in one country in 1 year, $2.5 billion. No wonder they're lobbying to keep us out. They wanted to keep this profit center for themselves. And for 25 years, it worked. But pretty soon, technology, and it's some technology that you'll be able to use, caught up with the banks. And individuals finally knocked on the door loud enough that the door opened up. Okay? The Commodities Modernization Act in the year 2000 was the thing that swung the door open for you and I to be able to trade this market alongside the banks. Here's what you need to know. Banks do what banks do, and I don't criticize the banks. Why? Because they are going to end up leading the charge in this market. All right, it's their sandbox. They got the size. I'm going to respect it. But I'm also going to follow whatever they're doing in order to rake a couple of those $1 billion into my column. You're going to do the same thing. We'll follow the banks. All right, we'll follow their lead. They know what they're doing, and we're going to profit from that. Now, it's not just a couple $1 billion. It's a $4 trillion market. Write that down. What's it mean to you? In a $4 trillion market that is bigger than all the other world markets put together, that means not only is there lots of money and opportunity, but it also means there's a lot of liquidity. You can get in this market when you want, you can get out of this market when you need, and at a price that's predictable. I know I'm talking fast. I only have a limited amount of time. When it comes to liquidity, you can get in when you want, you can get out when you need, and at a price that's predictable. Other markets, and I told you I'm licensed in all of them, don't necessarily give me that same measure of safety. If I'm trading stocks, stock markets open and close. If the market's closed and something bad happens to the company that I own the stock in, I can't get out of that stock until the following morning, and by that time it's already dropped $8 a share. Okay? When it comes to the currency market, it's open 24 hours a day. Write this down. It's open from Sunday at 5 Eastern till Friday at 4 Eastern. Write it down. It's open round the clock 6 days a week. The only day it's closed is Saturday. Okay? Go to the football game, do your yard work on Saturday, but know that on Sunday at 5, market's open. And it closes Friday at 4. And regardless of what you're doing in any of those hours in between, this market is open. When you get home from work, you're going to find different times to trade this market. Now, when are the best times to trade? Usually, when the banks open worldwide. In other words, in Asia, when the sun's coming up, even though it's dark here in the States outside, when the markets open up in Asia, the banks start going through their activity. That's a prime time to do some trading. So between 5 and 7 Eastern time, that's a great time to trade. Now, when the European markets open from 2 to 4 a.m. my time, that's another prime time to trade. A lot of business goes through when the lights come on in different parts of the world. And when it comes to the U.S. market, hey, from 7 to 10 in the morning, great times to trade. Write this other one down. First Friday of the month at 8:30. What happens then? On the first Friday of the month at 8:30 Eastern Time, the currency market moves, and it moves big. There's an opportunity to make money in the currency market every Friday, the first Friday of the month, at 8:30 in the morning. Now, Joe, how do you know that? What, do you have a crystal ball? You know when the market's going to move? The answer is yes. Write that down. You don't even have to know how I know or why just yet. Just know this. A lot of traders make all their money for the month on the first Friday of the month at 8:30 a.m. Christmas comes most of the time once a year. In the currency market, it comes once a month. So those are great times to trade, and those are all Eastern times. And those of you who are my veterans are telling me why that is. Good for you. Hang with me. Let me bring everybody else up to speed. They need to know what the currency pairs are that we're going to trade. We already traded one of them, the dollar Canadian. Okay? We sold US dollars, bought Canadian. That currency pair is called the Canadian. Now, we'll also trade the euro and the pound. We'll also trade the yen and the Swiss and the Australian dollar. 90% of the trading that we're going to do is going to go through these 6 currency pairs. Write them down. And I'm going to keep moving along. Every currency pair, when you see it quoted, will always be followed by an exchange rate. You read it from left to right. 1 euro, in this case, buys 1.1132 US dollars. Simple. Read it from left to right. 1 euro on the left buys the one on the right, 1.1132 US dollars. Now, currencies are quoted in dollars and cents. That's easy, dollars and cents. First digit is dollars, the next 2 are cents. But here's the ones we need to look for as currency traders. It's the last 2. Out there in the 3rd and 4th decimal place are what's called pips. That stands for price interest points. Price interest points. It's a very tiny fluctuation in the value of the exchange rate. Out there in the 3rd and 4th decimal place, we're going to divide these currencies by hundredths of a penny. Doesn't seem like much, but when you start to understand leverage and the Forex market, you're going to see that a little difference can make a big difference to you. As traders, we're looking to capture those pips. Now, how's it work? If I've got the euro on the left and the dollar on the right, here's your example. Let's say the euro is trading at 1.1132 US dollars. Simple. Let's say the euro is strong. Conversely, the dollar would be weak. If the euro is strong, it's going to go up in value next to the US dollar, which means that exchange rate is going to move. Let's say, for example, it goes from 1.1132 to 1.1182. That's a difference of 50 pips. And I'm moving fast. If you're getting it, just type a yes in the box while I get a quick sip of water. That's everybody, okay? So that's a 50 pip move. Now, when we trade, in the stock market, we trade shares. In the currency market, we trade contracts. In the Forex market, we trade lots. One lot controls $100,000 in currency. One lot controls $100,000. So if you bring a little bit to the table, your broker is going to match whatever you bring 50 times. And what's the point of that? To shrink that big number down to size. In the old days, if you were trading, you'd have to bring $100,000 denomination. But today, because of the concept of leverage, when you open an account with a broker, they're going to match whatever you bring 50 times. So, for example, if you bring $2,000 to the table, you put that on deposit at your brokers, they're going to match that 50 times, 50 to 1 leverage. 50 times 2,000 equals 100,000. Great. Correct. 50 times 2,000 equals 100,000. That equals 1 lot of currency. Now you are in the game. Because of your relationship with a Forex broker, you can now trade this market. You bring a little, they match it 50 times, and that gets you in the door. Now, those of you who are saying, why would they do that? Do the brokers just do that out of the kindness of their heart? No. Here's why they do it. All right, and I told you I was going to tell you everything so you'd be able to make a good decision on this. Here's what you need to know. For providing the leverage, the broker is going to charge you 1 to 3 pips. Remember pips? 1 to 3 pips for every trade that you do. That's called a spread. It's like a toll for providing you the leverage. So they're going to take a little piece of your trade, but they're the ones who got you in the door in the first place. You're going to be able to decide pretty quickly that that's a reasonable trade-off. Let's put it all together. Let's say we're trading the euro. It moves 50 pips to our advantage. We owned one lot of the euro. It moved up 50 pips. Well, that lot was worth $100,000. Doing some simple math, 100,000 times 50 pips, that's a $500 profit. On 2,000 invested, you made yourself 40%. Write it down. 50 pips, one lot, 500 bucks. My investment was 2,000, so I made 40% on my money. Let me tell you something. There's not too many markets you can do that in. I don't know too many places you can make 500 bucks with just that little bit of investment. That's what you can do here. Now, some people say, oh, I go to these workshops and everybody throws the big number at me. All right, 500 bucks, great. How often does it even happen? I mean, really, are you just giving me the best case scenario? Listen, this happens in every currency every single day. Every one of those pips, when you're trading a lot of currency, is worth $10 to you. So if you make 50 pips, that is 500 bucks. How often does it happen? Every day in every currency, on average. In fact, it happens more than that. For example, in the euro, on average, every day, there's 135 pips of opportunity. On the pound, 160, and so on down the page. I'm not telling you you have to capture all of these to make some money. I'm not telling you you even have to capture one. I'm telling you, if you can capture a part of one, you can make serious money in this market. And even if, hang with me, you only captured a fraction of one, 10 pips, well, that'd still be 100 bucks for doing no more than clicking your mouse and having the exchange rate move in your favor. 10 pips a day, that's $100 a day, that's $500 a week, that's $2,000 a month, that's rent. That's a couple nights out. That's a couple car payments. That's shoes for your kids. All right? You're doing this for a reason. You can collect information, and that's fine. But you're doing this for a reason. You want to make some money. You want to do it without taking a lot of risk. You want to do it in short order. This is the place to do it. You can be started trading by the time I'm done talking. Okay? Mike Simmons did it. Works with Josh. Made 52 pips in the morning. Okay? Pete Cook did it, again, working with Josh. Sends him a note. Josh, I made 80 pips this morning. 52 pips, $520. 80 pips, $800. Those are numbers we like. And we like them especially, told you I was going to tell you everything, if we can make them without risking a whole lot of money. Here's what you need to know. Peter didn't just guess. Peter didn't just jump into the market. He found the right time to enter the market, jumped in, and set what's called a stop order. Write it down. Stop order. What's a stop? I'm moving fast. Don't worry. Just keep your pencil moving. A stop order builds a floor underneath your trade so that if the trade goes against you, you don't lose all of what you have in your account. You only lose a small, predictable, and decided ahead of time amount. So for example, if on your trade you were looking to make 80 pips but only wanted to risk 10, you'd set a stop order at 10 pips. Now, how many of you, again, using the chat box, would be willing to risk 10 pips to make 80 pips? Go ahead and type yes in the box if you would. And if you're not sure, think about this. Most of you are saying yes. Think about this. You don't have to be right every time if you're trading that kind of ratio. That's everybody just about. But if you're trading looking for 80 to risk 10, you know how many times you have to be right? 1 time out of 8 in order to still be profitable. How's that work? Well, think about it. If I was right once, I made 80 pips, right? I was right. I was looking to make 80. It went all the way to that profit target. Bang, I made 80 pips. Now, if I trade 7 more times and I lose 10 pips, my risk tolerance, I lose 10 pips every time, that's still only 70 negative pips. 80 to the good, 70 to the bad. I was right once, and I still ended up 10 pips to the good. So I told you I would tell you how this works, what the power of it is. It's a lot of fun, gang. When you can start talking this way, it's a whole lot of fun. Here, half an hour made 88 pips. Not too many want ads in the paper that say you can make $880 in a half an hour. Who did it? Anik did it. This morning, working with Chris and Earl. Who are they? A couple more of our traders. All right, here's Chris. He came to us, again, started with a small account, worked with the chief, worked his way up to the point where he's one of our lead analysts. In fact, when the newspapers come in for interviews to talk about the market, he's the guy we send them to. He's the face of our company. He's a champion trader, knows.
Hey Joe, we're not getting any of your audio. Can you try calling calling back in? Hey Joe, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I am getting confirmation from some people saying that they are getting um, audio, and then others are not getting audio. So can you try calling back in if you're on the phone, or if you're using a headset, can you please pull it out of the computer and push it back in there and see if we can do another audio test to see if we can get this to work.
Tell me if you can hear me.
All right, you are good. I can hear you now. You're good to go.
All right, thunderstorms in Orlando, that happens once in a while. So now I've really got to blaze through the remainder of my message. And if most of you have this part, I think you understand. The point is, even if you have a mini account, there's an opportunity to make some money. Angus, who'd been trading a while, decided instead of doing it by himself, he was going to trade alongside Josh and see if that changed his pattern of results. At the end of the day, he pulled it off. Made himself $920 one night, $1,520 or $1,490 his first 2 weeks. So he says his journey starts now. Peter, $754 on a mini account. That's still shoes for your kids. Trading $200 alongside Josh, protecting the downside and looking for that upside opportunity, $754. So if you could triple your funds, listen to what I'm telling you, okay? You want to be inspired, you're looking for opportunity, A 9-year-old can trade this. Mechanically, it couldn't be much easier. All right, this little girl's looking to make herself $500. Now, of course, her dad's looking over her shoulder, but what's he trying to do? He's trying to say, when you get older, you can either put yourself in a position to have to answer to someone, or you can lighten the load of all that anxiety and learn how to do something like this for yourself. My kids trade with me on the way to school. We're looking at the pairs. All right, I'm trading the euro-yen short right now. I had the Australia-US long on Friday. That thing netted 90 pips. Anybody that was with me on my workshops on Friday and Saturday made money today. Anybody that's been working with Josh. But here's what you need to know. You're ready to do it because in 25 minutes, I taught you all the terms. Now you can at least conversation, okay? When it comes to trading, it's just 3 steps. Find the trend, and then figure out when to sell. Here's what you need to know. The only one you'll be responsible at the beginning is one. You're going to let Josh, Chris, me, our traders, we'll do the other 2 for you. And as you continue to develop your skill, it's all going to end up happening in a very formula kind of way. So if you understand, looking at this chart, that this is, well, let me put you to the test. What kind of trend does this look like if the only 2 choices were uptrend or downtrend? What kind of trend does this look like to you? Type the answer in the box. Everybody got it right. It's an uptrend, okay? And I'm not trying to insult anybody's intelligence. I'm trying to show you how easy this is. When you look at the currency pair, you understand that time's at the bottom, price is on the right, and that the price starts over here. The train of currency, the way the banks are moving, is measured on price charts. And there's times where it offers an opportunity to get in and go for the ride. Okay? Then it pulls into the station and offers another opportunity. On the same uptrend, you've got yet another opportunity to go for the ride. Then you wait for it to pull into the station and go again. On just this one currency over time, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 different opportunities to make serious money, whether you're a novice or a veteran. Okay? Is it really that simple? For you right now it is. Because the only thing you have to do is recognize the trend. Which way is this one going? This is the Australian dollar. Type it in the box, uptrend or downtrend. See how easy that is? But I'm putting you in a position to have the conversation. Okay? Last one. Let's look at the pound. This one's in play right now. What way is this trend going? Up or down? Some people say down, some say up, some say sideways. You're neither. All of you are paying attention. But do you see how quickly you answered it? That's where I need you to be. All right? It was a downtrend. It has changed direction. And it's about to change again. Okay? Here in the middle, there was a reversal. Powerful move in the market. Write this down. The pound drop is happening now. Write it down. The pound drop is happening now. So where we had the pound reversal here, we've gone for a pretty extended ride. But now the reversal is happening, and the pound drop is going to be what yields you those results by Christmas. You're ready to get them. Now what's left? Plenty. We're going to teach it to you. Josh will teach it to you. I'll teach it. Chris will teach it. The U-turns, that's where the trades are happening. The other terms, you don't even know what they mean. You don't need to know just yet. You're going to let us do the heavy lifting for you while you trade alongside us. Isn't that what you're hoping for? I'm interested. I'm willing to take action. I can open an account and put a couple of $100 in it. Show me how to do it. That's what we do in what's called the Live Forex Mentorship and Empowerment Program. This stuff is happening now. What else is happening? Josh will tell you. On the euro, there's 90 easy pips waiting to happen. He's going to show you all how to make $900 on Monday morning. Write it down. On the euro New Zealand, a little more exotic, there's an opportunity to make 2,000 pips. But he's going to show you how to make 240 of them, right? The low-hanging fruit with low risk. Another $2,400 worth of opportunity. If you're trading a mini account, it's still $240. Double your money. He's going to show you how to do it. And on these 3 pairs, write them down. The Australian, the pound against the New Zealand, and the Great British Pound against the Australian, He's going to show you how you can make $40,000 by Christmas. It's all happening. It's happening now. He's going to show you how to get in, what your risk is, and what your reward is, and it's going to start Monday morning in the live Forex Mentorship and Empowerment Program. We're going to take you through 2 live sessions a week showing you how to get this. Okay? The live analysis, especially for my veterans, is what you want. So you don't need to have someone holding your hand doing the trades. Show me how to do it. I'll do it fine. For my new people, we're going to take you along for this ride. And we're going to protect your downside every time. It starts Monday the 12th at 9 o'clock. You want to get involved, you let me know at the end. I'll show you exactly how. You'll get a user ID and a password. You're going to enter the trading room Monday morning and be ready to go live with us, 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. We're going to show you every setup in that pound, 3-pound trades, so you can see how to make 40 grand by Christmas. All right? And if you can't make it Monday, we'll record it, deliver you the link, so you'll be able to get that information ASAP. Thursday, you'll be trading live with us. October 15th from 7 to 11. Same thing. We'll get you a user ID and password.
Hey, Joe, don't mean to interrupt, buddy, but we are just about out of time.
Okay, wrapping it up right now. Everybody's asking me, when it comes to Mondays and Thursdays, all right, it's going to be for an entire month. You'll be with us for 30 days. 30 days, twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays. The goal is to make you some serious money. Now, I'll throw in a couple of basics so that you have a solid foundation. But the real value comes in being able to trade live with us. Normally, that's $300 a month opportunity. We often reduce that by 50% so that as many people as possible can get involved. But Reed said, give them the most special price you can today because we're going to have a whole lot of people. So because you took this time to listen to my presentation, instead of it being $300 or $150, it's $27, and I'll guarantee it. What does that mean? Listen, I'll send you the link right now. Okay? If you click on that link, it's going to bring up your opportunity to enter the Live Forex Mentorship and Empowerment Program for $27 for your first month. When I say guaranteed, I mean it. If it's not everything you thought it was after 30 days, I'll give you back your money. Put us to the test. Put those results to the test. See if 40,000 by Christmas, by the end of October, doesn't make sense to you. So click on that link. It'll bring up this page. You'll fill out the form at the bottom. Use American Express, MasterCard, Visa, or Discover, and you'll be a part of our team come Monday morning. And with that, great opportunity, great session, great workshop. We're going to move on to the next presenter. But for the several hundred of you that were here for my talk, I appreciate you taking the time. Best of luck to you. For those of you that get signed up, I'll see you Monday morning with Josh at that workshop.